Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And I'm officially doing my first Oscar-related video of the season. Yes, it's extremely early. People have been doing them for months. Some people do them every month of the year with absolutely nothing to go on. I'll wait until the middle/end of the summer, and then I'll make a prediction video with little or nothing to go on. And that's what I'm going to do today. So I have Gold Derby up here. Where's the thing? There it is. That's the one. Nope, that's the one. Nope. Is that the one? This the one? I think that's the one I like. Is that better? That's better, right? Okay. So far, all they have on Gold Derby is the top 8 categories, which, as you see here, is picture, director, actress, actor, supporting actor, and the 2 screenplay categories. All of the tech categories will come later on, and when they show up on here, that's when I'll be making a prediction. I'm not gonna just pull 5 movies out of my butt for every category that exists at the moment, but I'll just say right off the bat, let me do this. From what I've heard, Oppenheimer will be getting a slew of technical nominations. Barbie will probably get a few for its art direction, costumes, etc., like that, from what I've seen. And then Dune Part 2, same as the last one, probably. I just kind of hope it doesn't win every single category for the same categories as it won for the original. You know what I mean? It's kind of lame when the same movie technically wins the same Oscar for the same category when it looks exactly the same as the other one. Just saying. I'd be more happy if something different like Oppenheimer won for sound and editing than if Dune just won again. Even if I like the second Dune more than the first one, I'd probably prefer a different movie winning because I'm guessing the visual effects and the sound and cinematography look exactly the same as the first Dune. Just saying. But enough about, Dune and rambling on about nothing. Let's get into this. And of course, let's just start with Best Picture because why wouldn't we? So the top 10 they have here looks to be Killers of the Flower Moon, the Scorsese DiCaprio picture. Obviously, number one, so for a reason. Oppenheimer, there he is. Past Lives, which I have not seen, but I've heard nothing but outstanding things about all year long. Color Purple, the musical adaptation of the original film. So there's a Broadway Color Purple that is now turning into a movie, if you don't know what that is. Dune Part 2, Zone of Interest, which is a very interesting Holocaust movie, I believe. Google it. Don't take my word on it. The Holdovers, which is an Alexander Payne movie starring Paul Giamatti. Both of those things I love and make me excited. So I'm excited for The Holdovers, especially if it's as good as I've been hearing it is. Barbie is up here. Spider-Man into this, or Across the Spider-Verse, sorry. I would love if this got nominated for Best Picture. More animated movies in Best Picture, please. Maestro, the Bradley Cooper film that he is directing, writing, and acting in. I've heard some things about it. It's been getting not the greatest early screening reviews. They've gone back and they're retooling it and shortening it a tad. But as far as an acting makeup combo goes, that seems to be issuing, at least for a nomination. Saltburn, which is a new film from, why can't I think of her name, who did Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell. There we go. So that'll be exciting to see her movie. I've heard good things about this as well. And it has Barry Cohen, I believe. Anatomy of a Fall, I've heard good things. Air, which is available to watch already on Amazon Prime, is it? I think. That's a good one. It's a good dad movie. That's how I refer to it, and I've heard other people refer to it. Napoleon, the Ridley Scott, Joaquin Phoenix movie, which is, given Ridley Scott movies, could be great or it could be a whatever. He's hit or miss. Poor Things, which is one of the ones I'm most excited to see, might be a little too weird for the Oscars. Yorgos Lanthimos' new Frankenstein-related movie with Willem Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo, and Emma Stone, excuse me. The Piano Lesson, which is another one of the Denzel Washington, August Wilson play to film adaptations. So they did Fences, and then they did, what was the other one they did? Why can't I think of it now? Not One Night in Miami. It's a different one. The other one that came out the same year. Oh my God. With Viola Davis that Chadwick Boseman was nominated for. Why can't I think about it? Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. There we go. Ugh. So it'll probably be pretty good. Denzel Washington's son is actually the director of the film, not the son who's in Black Klansman and Tenet, but another son, apparently, who is a director. So that's cool. And Samuel L. Jackson is in this, and he'll probably be awesome. It would be cool to see Samuel L. Jackson, after almost 30 years, get another Oscar nomination. That would be fantastic. Next goal wins the Taika Waititi, and then we're getting into the 100 to 1 odds things. Taika Waititi movie with Michael Fassbender that's been coming out for what seems like a decade. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Asteroid City, Rustin, I've heard good things about. Ferrari, and so on and so on and so on. Every movie ever. I'll probably just be lame and kind of copy and paste most of the higher up ones here. I just wanted to go over a lot of the films. A lot of these films would be the same in all the other categories as well. But Killers of the Flower Moon, I'm not going to assume it's going to win anything. But as far as you're damn sure it's going to get nominated, that you can't get much higher than that. Oppenheimer seems to be the same way, especially from actually hearing reviews of the movie saying it's as good or even better than it appears to be. Makes me excited. Past Lives seems like the little indie darling that'll get in everywhere. Color Purple, I'll put in there. I mean, with 10 Best Picture nominees, I won't be surprised. I hear the acting is good enough. If it gets like 3 acting nominations, it'll probably get a Best Picture nomination. Dune 2, I'm guessing will get in. If the first one can get in everywhere except for director, I'm sure the second one can do the same as long as it's as good, but hopefully more engaging. I thought the first one was visually amazing, but the story, I was like, whatever. I didn't really care the whole time for the most part. Zone of Interest, I have a feeling from what I heard, will be the foreign film that gets in. There's always one or two. That seems to be the top contender. Holdovers, I'm kind of hopeful gets in just because I love Paul Giamatti and Alexander Payne so much. I think I'm just gonna go 10 for 10. Barbie. How funny would it be if Barbie got in for Best Picture? Across the Spider-Verse should, honestly, from what's come out so far this year, get in. Maestro seems like it's one of those that's like too obvious, but it's been getting so many like not great reviews that I'm like worried to put it in. Air seems too boring of a choice, but it's one of those movies that's like it's a good movie all around, and just enough people might like it that it squeaks in. I might go crazy and just do Saltburn because I've heard good things, and seeing Emerald Fennell having another film excites me more than Maestro, even though I'm sure I'll like Maestro. So for now, I'm going to do these 10. I'm sure it'll change 100 times. That's the kind of the pointless part of doing this so early. But the earlier you do it, the better odds you get point wise as far as the Gold Derby game goes. That's why I really do this. So Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Color Purple, Dune Part 2, Zone of Interest, The Holdovers, Barbie, Spider-Man, and Saltburn. That would be an interesting group of movies. Director. Here, the top dogs are Scorsese, Nolan. We didn't get the Scorsese Spielberg battle we were hoping last year because Killers of the Flower Moon got pushed, and Scorsese and Spielberg never been nominated against each other. So that trend continues because Killers of the Flower Moon got pushed to this year. But we might get a Christopher Nolan Scorsese battle, so that's cool. Celine Strong, I can read. Celine Song, there we go, for Past Lives. Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest. Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. He didn't get in for Part 1, even though everybody and their grandma thought he was going to. So maybe he'll get in this time, especially if this is the final Dune. I think it is, isn't it? Like, I've been seeing people talk about there being third and fourth ones. I'm like, isn't this the last one, as far as I know? Blitz Bazawul, that's a cool name. The Color Purple. Justine Triet, Anatomy of a Fall, Alexander Payne, who I mentioned before for the holdovers, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Cooper for Maestro, Scott for Napoleon, Wes Anderson for Asteroid City, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Emerald Fennell for Saltburn, Michael Mann for Ferrari, Sophia Coppola, I forgot about that, doing the Priscilla Presley movie, Ari Aster for Beau is Afraid, Taika Waititi, David Fincher for The Killer, if that movie even comes out this year, that would make me excited, so on and so forth. Great directors in this pile. You got Miyazaki, Todd Haynes, Ben Affleck, George Clooney, Jeff Nichols, Kelly Reichardt. A lot of good people. A lot of good people. But who are we going to pick? Obviously, we're going to go with the herd here for the most part. Scorsese's getting in. Will he win? Who knows? He's been nominated, upwards of 10 times for director and won once for The Departed. Will he get in again and lose? Probably. Or will they finally give him his second Oscar? And I've heard essentially nothing but good to great things about Killers of the Flower Moon so far as well. I'm excited about that movie and Oppenheimer. I just want 3 hour long epics that deserve to be 3 hour long epics in theaters. That's what makes me excited. Christopher Nolan is hopefully going to get in. The DGA likes him. The DGA nominates him for damn near everything. But then the Oscars snub him at the last second for every single movie he's done, with the exception of Dunkirk. It's the only time he's ever been in for director. And I've heard that this is arguably his best film ever, especially from an emotional standpoint. Because if Christopher Nolan is not the greatest at anything, it's making his characters, like have feelings and like be emotionally attached to his characters. He's great at having interesting characters or cool characters that are fun to watch, et cetera, and all these amazing practical effects, epic films that he does. But the one thing I come out of his movies wishing I had more of was giving a shit about the people in them, which doesn't happen often. Like Dunkirk is probably his Oscar wise is his most like successful film because he got in for director. But even that movie, I'm like, I didn't care about anybody in the movie. I like the movie, but like you don't get attached to any specific character enough to really like feel what they're going through. So that's my biggest argument with his movies. I'd say Memento and Prestige, which happen to be my two favorite films of his, are the only two that I like really get into and feel for the characters. But I've heard this is different. This is the most emotional, most emotionally impactful, there we go, of all of his films, arguably. Past Lives, I have a feeling will get in. If the movie gets in, I think she'll get in. Zone of Interest, is that going to be the foreign director that gets in? Why not? Let's put him in right there. Alexander Payne, if this movie is as good as I've heard it is, he should get in because he gets in for damn near everything he does, and they're always great. He never wins for director, but he's won screenplay twice, and it's been a while since he's done like a great movie. The last great movie he did was Nebraska, which I love, and even that tiny little movie got in for picture, screenplay, which he didn't actually write, and director for him. So he's a good pick. Greta Gerwig for Barbie and Bradley Cooper would both be interesting because they both need to get a directing nomination badly. Barbie is a unique enough movie that I could see it getting in, but it's also a weird enough movie that I could see them just being like, it's a Barbie movie. It doesn't deserve that kind of a thing. Bradley Cooper didn't get in for Star is Born, which got in for essentially everything else. So that kind of sucks. He should have won Best Actor for that, by the way. I'll give him props for that. He is like officially the most overdue person in Hollywood, which is a weird thing to say. Long story short, I'm going to go with Alexander Payne because he's a damn good director who always squeaks his way in, regardless of the project. Best Actress, we have Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple. Like I said, this is going to have a lot of acting stuff. Greta Lee for Past Lives, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Natalie Portman for May December, which also has can't think of her name. We'll get to her. I'll feel stupid when I say it in a minute. Emma Stone for Poor Things, Annette Bening, who is for Naiad. I don't even know what the hell this is, but Annette Bening is one of the most overdue actresses in the history of the Oscars. So it'd be cool if she got in and won, but is she gonna be like a low nominee for a movie and win? That's rare. Jessica Lange, Long Day's Journey into Night. I hear that's a good one. Carrie Mulligan is in Maestro. She's always good. Regina King, Margot Robbie for Barbie, Zendaya for that Challengers movie everyone makes memes about. Tiana Taylor, 1001. And then we're just kind of getting into there's Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Is she seriously at 100-1? Or is it because she's supporting actress? I don't know. Is there a category confusion thing going on in this movie? Because from what I've heard, Lily Gladstone is like a sure thing. She must be in. I'm just going to put her in just because I don't know. We don't know what category they're going to be in for sure yet. So I'm going to assume she could get in here just to have her in at 100-1. And then if they decide which category to put her in for sure, I'll take her out of the one that she's not in. Because she, for 100-1, I would assume they would take the actress with the largest role in that film and make her the lead actress nominee. Just saying. But if they put her in supporting, it's one of those things where it's like category fraud, if you want to call it that. Or if she has a big enough part in the supporting category, she'll just like win by default, pretty much, which might be what they're doing. Color Purple, like I've been saying, it's going to have some nominees in the acting categories. Past Lives Once again, I've heard nothing but amazing things about all of the cast of that movie. I think if the lead actor is in the lead acting category, which, like I said a second ago, would make sense, all three of them are going to get nominated potentially. Anatomy of a Fall. I think the Poor Things one might just be a little too weird. Weird Emma Stone Frankenstein. And I hear May December is some damn good acting. So I'm gonna go with Natalie Portman for now. If I take out Lily Gladstone, I will put in the other one. Lead actor, we have DiCaprio, because it's DiCaprio, and no matter what, you got to have him in the top couple of choices every movie he does, whether or not he ends up getting nominated at all. Cillian Murphy, who would be a first-time nominee for Oppenheimer, he's in like every scene of this movie, and he carries the whole damn thing, which is a cool thing for an actor like Cillian Murphy to do, who's always been great, and I would love to see him get at least nominated for the first time. Bradley Cooper for Maestro seems like the transformative performance kind of thing. Coleman Domingo for Rustin should have been nominated last year. Had the movie come out last year, he was like one of the top dogs of probably going to get nominated. Blah blah blah. Paul Giamatti needs more Oscar nominations / awards in general for the holdovers. I would love for him to finally get a second Oscar nomination. He's only been nominated once for Cinderella Man. He wasn't even nominated for Sideways. Pathetic. A lot of people. That was a great year, 2004, and the snubs for Best Actor were just as good as the nominees for Best Actor. That's how strong of a year that was for lead actors. Barry Keoghan, who would be cool to get another nomination so quickly after Banshees, for Saltburn. Kingsley Ben-Adir for playing Bob Marley in yet another musical biopic movie. Joaquin Phoenix for Napoleon. He's Joaquin Phoenix. He'll be good no matter what. Tiao Yu, there he is for Past Lives. John David Washington for The Piano Lesson. So he's in the movie, and his other brother directed the film, like I was saying earlier. Fassbender for The Killer. Fassbender is always great, as long as the movie he's in doesn't suck. And he's in 2 movies this year. He's got that Killer movie, and he's got the Next Goal Wins. So that'll be fun, assuming they actually come out. David Strathairn, Matt Damon for Air, Anthony Hopkins, Jesse Garcia, Gail Garcia Bernal, Adam Driver for Ferrari. He looks actually very interesting in that movie. There's Michael Fassbender again, but we're in the 100 to 1s now. The very not likely to get nominated so far. Like, who knows? Like I said, it's July, for God's sakes. As is mandatory, I will put Leonardo DiCaprio in my predictions for any Martin Scorsese collaboration at this point of the year. Cillian Murphy, hopefully it's not just wishful thinking and he gets in. Bradley Cooper gets nominated for every damn movie he does that's a drama, so why not this one? He looks good in it from what I've seen. I would love Coleman Domingo to get in for Rustin because he is a fantastic actor, and it would be cool if he got in. And I think he's also in Color Purple, so he could potentially get in both categories. We'll see. And my love for Paul Giamatti. See, like I said, I'm going to be copying the herd on most of these. Barry Cohen, I mean, cool. It'd be awesome if he got in. Giamatti, come on. It's Paul Giamatti, for God's sakes. See, there's Lily Gladstone again. So here I'm going to have her as my number 1 for sure. And then if they decide which category they're going to shove her in, I'll take her out of the lead. Tajari P. Henson and Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, I hear, are both amazing. Taraji, I always call her Tajari, but it's Taraji. I don't know why. I don't know. Even when I'm reading it, I can't say it right. Julianne Moore, there's the actress I couldn't remember for some reason for May December. I've heard she's outstanding alongside with Natalie Portman, Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers, Viola Davis in Air. Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, I've heard, has been doing. She's always good and she needs a nomination, but I don't think it's for this. I hear she doesn't do much in the movie, even for a supporting actress. You know, as far as that goes. Rosamund Pike is also in Saltburn. I forgot about that. She's always amazing. I can't wait to see that now. Her and Barry Keoghan in the Emerald Fennell movie. That's got to be good. Danielle Deadweiler for Piano Lesson. Maybe she'll get in this time since she didn't for Till last year. Rachel McAdams. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Oh, no wonder Tim likes that movie so much. Florence Pugh for Oppenheimer. I don't think she does. She does even less than Emily Blunt, I think, in that movie. So I doubt she'll get in. This movie, The Bike Rider, sounds cool with Jodie Comer. It's got Tom Hardy in it, I believe. Carey Mulligan in Saltburn. Maya Hawke for Maestro. Maya Hawke of Stranger Things, I believe. Uma Thurman / Ethan Hawke's daughter, as if you can't tell just by looking at her. Scarlett Johansson in Asteroid City. Tilda Swinton's in The Killer. So, I mean, a David Fincher movie starring actors of that caliber, I'm going to like it. Whether it gets nominated for anything or not. All right. So, part of me wants to put Viola Davis just because she's Viola Davis. and she gets nominated for damn near everything she does. But from what I've heard about the holdovers, I'm gonna give it to someone else until I can't anymore with Divine Joy Randolph. Supporting actor, all the way at the top, we got De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, John Majaro for Past Lives. He's a fantastic young actor who I haven't seen in too many things, but he's always really good and believable in what I've seen him in. Ryan Gosling for Barbie, Coleman Domingo yet again, like I said, for The Color Purple. Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. Apparently, he is a substantial part of that movie. He's not just like a glorified cameo. Like the entire third act of the movie revolves around him. A lot of it, I should say. Samuel L. Jackson for the piano lesson, like I mentioned. Charles Melton in May, December. I don't know who that is, but good for him. Jesse Plemons in Killers of Flower Moon. People just think it's going to happen because it did for Power of the Dog at the last second, but we'll see. Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. Matt Damon for Oppenheimer. Willem Dafoe for Poor Things. I mean, if anyone's going to get in for Poor Things, it's Willem Dafoe, because Willem Dafoe gets in for all the weird shit that he does when he does get in. Glenn Turnham, or Turman, excuse me, for Rustin. He's a great actor too. Glenn Howerton for Blackberry from Always Sunny. That's funny. Corey Hawkins in The Color Purple. There's Tom Hardy in that Bike Riders movie. This Flint Strong movie I heard is all right. Brian Tyree Henry. He got in last year. So the 100-to-1 odds starts with Corey Hawkins in Color Purple. De Niro's number one, but this movie's essentially number one in every category, I think, so far. So it's almost number one in the category that's in two categories for the actors. So that's a good sign. I'll put De Niro in, because you put De Niro in until he's not in. Like for The Irishman, he probably should have been nominated for lead actor for The Irishman, and then he just wasn't for some reason. But I got nominated for every other thing. John Majaro, like I said, I'm going to put as many of these actors from this film as I can that make sense at the time. Ryan Gosling, I've heard nothing but outstanding comedic performance. Maybe the real Barbenheimer battle will be between Gosling and Downey Jr. in supporting actor this year, huh? Never thought of that. Coleman Domingo for Color Purple for the double nomination. It is one of those cases where it's like he might only get in for one, but it's unlikely he'll do both, but because he's in both and they're such both high profile things, he'll probably get in for at least one of them. So for the time, I might as well put him in for both and eventually get one right. And from what I've heard about Robert Downey Jr., literally as of today, because I've been watching some non-spoiler reviews for Oppenheimer saying that he is way better than you'd think, and he is fairly transformative, and you kind of forget that it's Robert Downey Jr., and he does play a bigger role in the film than expected. And this could be like hey, welcome back to real movies, Robert Downey Jr. You're done with Iron Man now. Welcome back to real movies. Have an Oscar nomination. And that's Samuel L. Jackson, who, like I said before, if he gets in, I ain't complaining. Sammy Jackson needs more Oscar love. But he at least already has an honorary Oscar, so that is cool. On to the next screenplay category. Hey, look, it's Killers of the Flower Moon. What do you know? Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest, Dune Part 2. The first one gets in, the second one probably should. Barbie, Spider-Man, Poor Things, Color Purple, Piano Lesson, The Killer, Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret, Next Goal Wins, Boys in the Boat, Theater Camp, so on and so forth. Killers of the Flower Moon, yes, absolutely. Oppenheimer, yes, absolutely. Zone of Interest, probably. It's a foreign film, which is more rare for a screenplay. At least I think it's a foreign film. I might be talking out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure it is. Dune Part 2 will probably get in because the first one did. And if this one's as good as that one, it'll probably just kind of get the coattail nomination. Barbie would be fun. I would love if Spider-Man got in, but the fact that it's a part one of two of a thing makes me less inclined to put it in. But I might now, just for shits and giggles. And Barbie is so damn unique that I might skip Zone of Interest, even though it'll probably be the one to end up getting in. I'm going to pick some lower odds things like Barbie and Spider-Man this weekend. Color Purple, yes, I've been putting it everywhere else, but musicals and screenplay don't mix usually. It rarely gets nominated, and it never wins. Original screenplay, Past Lives absolutely is getting in. If it gets anything, it'll probably be original screenplay. Holdovers, Alexander Payne, that's getting in. Saltburn, Emerald Fennell, good call. May, December, from what I've heard, will be getting in. That is the Todd Haynes film, if I'm not mistaken. Wes Anderson could squeak in for Asteroid City. We got Napoleon. I don't see that getting in. Maestro, the Bradley Cooper one, is a maybe. Air, I mean, it's fine. Air is like one of those movies where it's like everything about it's good, but nothing about it is great. So it's like it could get in just based on that. Like, there's not much to complain about there. Anatomy of a Fall, I hear, is amazing. I think I might just go with the crowd here and not necessarily the same order, but do Past Lives Holdovers. Saltburn, May, December, and Anatomy of a Fall. So that is my official first predictions for the top 8 categories of the Academy Awards via Gold Derby. I usually don't even bother doing it before this because I'm not a fancy boy who gets to see all these movies at festivals months and months in advance, like some folks have. And I have a kid, so when it comes out in theaters, I barely get to see it then either. So I do my best. Okay. I've seen Spider Man. That's like it out of all these movies I've been mentioning. But I want to see Oppenheimer and Barbie this week, if I can, of course. It's Oscar season again, earlier than usual. Normally, it's not till like September, but hey, I need something to make a video about, right? So, on that note, please like, share, and subscribe. Please check out my TeePublic store as well. I haven't been pitching that in my last couple videos. People actually watch those, so of course I didn't, right? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.